Welcome back to the third movie in the Rocky franchise. Today I'm gonna do a review and retrospective review on Rocky 3. Yes, this is actually my second favorite Rocky film. I think it's definitely one of the best Sylvester Stallone movies that he did. And this Rocky 3 and Rocky 4 were always the movies that I was tight, which I could not decide which is actually my favorite Rocky, but Rocky 4 is still my favorite. This will be my second favorite. I'm gonna do my retrospective review on one of my personal favorite Rocky films, and of course, Rocky 3, Eye of the Tiger. Yes, I know it's not the tagline, but I call it Eye of the Tiger, which is the song, which actually is the song Eye of the Tiger. Now, Rocky 3 was once again written and directed by Sylvester Stallone, and already when after Rocky 2 was a huge success, Sylvester Stallone wanted to have a trilogy. He was working on a script to do the third movie, and Rocky 3 came out before First Blood came out. Rocky 3 and First Blood came out the same year. And this movie was released before even First Blood was released. And that time, Sylvester Stallone, like I said, he was working on a script. He wanted the third movie, and now Rocky, the third movie, or Rocky 3, actually made him into a huge star. So I'm gonna just show you once again why it's so awesome, why this movie is one of the greatest sequels of all time, in my opinion. All four Rocky movies to me are great. Even Rocky Balboa is great, but no, the first four Rocky movies are great. This movie is sensational, is the best in my opinion. And also I thought this movie was more inspiring than the first movie. Because Rocky, once again, he proves that he's still the champ. He's on the top of his world, then he loses everything. And I love that his contender, his opponent and competitor, and later became his friend and his mentor. Gets back. He shows him the eye of the tiger and says, make it right for yourself, or you will be sorry you didn't. And that's what this tagline that Sylvester Stallone wrote actually inspired me. If you do a bad choice or bad mistake, you have to do it right for yourself, or you'll be sorry you didn't. Because sometimes you'll be sorry you didn't. And this always inspired me. Even in high school, it inspired me. When I screwed up, this line always helped me make it right for yourself, or you'll be sorry you didn't. And I thought this is more inspiration than the first one. And I thought that Rocky 3 has also hair, just like the first two movies have, but this movie has to me more hair than even the first two movies. That's one of the reasons it's my second favorite Rocky film. One of my friends said that when the time he only saw the first three movies, he said this was actually the best in the three. And Sylvester Stallone actually, because the first two Rocky movies more actually focus on the life than boxing, because he didn't know how to do a movie. He decided to focus more focus on the boxing and training sequences, more on the fights and the boxing, and in my opinion it really worked. Rocky 3 is a classic in my opinion, a masterpiece that Sylvester Stallone wrote, directed. I mean, I love this movie, incredible to death, love this movie to death. It's such a joy watching this film, and this movie isn't 2 hours long, it's only 1 hour 39 minutes long, so it's not that long. It's fast paced, and I also love the song by Survivor, Eye of the Tiger. Sylvester Stallone wanted to have the Green. I wrote down that stupid song. Another One Bites the Dust. I hate the song. It's stupid song because the time it was number one in the 80s, but Sylvester Stallone then choose Survivor. There was also a song recorded by Joe Esposito, You're the Best, which was later used in the Karate Kid, but Sylvester Stallone rejected. He wanted Eye of the Tiger by Survivor, and I love that. This movie was nominated for an Academy Award. Rocky 2 wasn't. This movie was nominated. Since the first movie was nominated for 3 Academy Awards for Best Editing, Best Picture, I think was uh, um, Best Sound, in the first Rocky. This movie was nominated for Academy Award, and I did wrote somewhere down, um, um, for the best music, Eye of the Tiger. Both the singers, they were both they actually were both of them, they actually were nominated for Academy Award. This movie got an Oscar, just like Rambo First of Part 2 was the only one that got an Oscar. This movie got an Oscar and an Academy Award because it deserves it for the best song. And I love Eye of the Tiger. That was actually the movie 3 years later, that was actually 4 years later, released with Gary Busey from Predator 2, Under Siege, Point Break, which was called Eye of the Tiger. And that time when I saw the song, I thought it's Rocky, but it wasn't. It was actually the name, the title, and they actually used the song from Survivor, Eye of the Tiger, and I love the song. Always been a fan of Eye of the Tiger. And I love that Rocky 3 is more focusing on the fights, not the story. And Sylvester Stallone put in the movie many of his biographical elements, that happened in real life. And also his then wife, Sasha, his first wife, Sasha, was in this movie. She was the one groupie that she gives Rocky a kiss. She was the blonde girl. She was his wife that time, Sasha, the first wife of Stallone. So that was awesome. There was for the character Clubber Lang, there was 1,200 people auditioned for the role of Clubber Lang. I think there are also 2 boxers that were also choose to be Rocky's opponents, but they both had like problems. So it took like 1,200 people to find a character, an actor to find to play Clubber Lang, and Mr. T was chosen to play Clubber Lang, and I love Mr. T. He's great. He's the most dangerous opponent Rocky ever faced. He's the most dangerous opponent. And I also love his mohawk hair, his haircut. I love his beard. I think that Mr. T was a great choice. When he did the terrible remarks to Adrian, according to Mr. T, when his beautiful mom, she saw that line, she was very, very upset with that line when Mr. T says, to the lady, and she told him, I did not raise you to talk to the lady like that, and she stormed out of the movie theater. But I know that Mr. T loved his mom just like I love my mom, and he says whoever disrespects his mom is no friend of mine, and I just love Mr. T. He was great. Sylvester Stallone and Mr. T did pull it off. One of the best things about this movie is it's actually Apollo Creed, which I was surprised. He returned. Apollo Creed by Carl Weathers returned. This is actually his favorite movie because he said. Carl Weathers said that his character Apollo Creed is actually more humanizing character, and I just love that. And Rocky 3 is a fantastic movie. It's a fantastic movie. I enjoy this movie to death. I love this movie to death. It's definitely my top 10 favorite Sylvester Stallone movies because Rocky 3 is so great fun. I love Rocky 3 a lot. I love that the cast returns. Like beside. Sylvester Stallone, Carl Weathers, and Mr. T, which those 3 are great. All 3 they're great. Burt Young returns. He's once again funny. Talia Shire returns. She's great. She's a babe. I mean, look her. She has long hair. She's sexy. She's beautiful. She changed into a princess. From the first 2 movies, she is shy to a supporting character, which Sylvester Stallone wrote a great script. She was great. I mean, she was awesome. She was a fantastic, beautiful character. Also, Burgess Meredith returns, and it was sad that his character Mickey gets killed, dies in this movie. I'm glad that Burgess Meredith that time didn't die for real, but Mickey was also 76 years old, you know. I think that Burgess Meredith was that year, I mean, that age. I'm not sure, but I guess it was. Um, Bill Conti returned with a music score, which I love his score. And Gonna Fly Now was once again used in this film, in the training sequence. And I love that the movie is more a sports, more an action, it's more a sports action drama, and I just love it. And I mean, Sylvester Stallone did a fantastic job. One of my personal favorite movies. I mean, Stallone is a fantastic, you know. Also, I'll show you the disc, Rocky 3, which is the disc. And of course the back, you know, Rocky. And I love the costume. I love the colors. You know, when Sylvester Stallone is wearing by the climatic fight, he wears the colors, that American flag colors, while Clubber Lang wears black pants. You know, you can see Clubber, you can see black pants. You know, yeah, he wears the black pants, which is awesome. I mean, I love the costumes, the boxing choreography. Sylvester Stallone, once again, he did boxing choreography. You have Hulk Hogan in the film. Hulk Hogan that time wasn't famous. According to Sylvester Stallone, he could not lift Hulk Hogan. He was way too tall and way too. He was actually way too heavy to carry. So Hulk Hogan jumped on Sylvester Stallone's hands. They actually edited that it didn't look like that because Sylvester Stallone really could not lift him. But that was awesome. It was cool. Vincent McMahon fired Hulk Hogan, but when his son Vince McMahon took over the company of WWF, he rehired Hulk Hogan back. He bring Hulk Hogan that time back, so that was awesome. But that movie made actually Hulk Hogan Thunder Lips made into a star. But I have always enjoyed Rocky 3 more than the first two movies. I just love how Sylvester Stallone created the character. Apollo Creed is still one of the greatest characters, you know. Besides Rocky, he's a great character. I love this movie, you know. It was released May 28, 1982. Before First Blood was released, First Blood came out the same year as Rocky 3. Was actually not distributed by United Artists like the first two movies were, because they remerged with Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. So this movie was remerged with Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. You can see their logo. I also love the opening scene, the logo, you know, much better hair song, much better song, you know, I can't do it, but much better song in my opinion. But yeah, now to the story, I think, yeah, before I continue, Sylvester Stallone, okay, so let's go to the story, then I'll go to my retrospective view of the film, and I'll talk about the fight, and I'll talk about my retrospective review and what I see in retrospective way in this film, and why it's definitely one of my personal favorite Sylvester Stallone movies, personal favorite movies of all time. So the story, I think it's been now 3 years later since Rocky won the fight, you know, won the heavyweight champion. He's now the top of the world. You know, Rocky's now the top of the world. He makes money with commercials. He's rich. He's still the champion. So far, he holds the title for longer. He has like 10 fights, and he defended the title 10 times. He's still the top of the world. He's great. In meantime, his brother-in-law, Paul, is jealous. And open scene, he grabs a bottle and throws the bottle in the pinball player on Rocky. Gets arrested. Rocky bills him out, and I love when Paulie keeps complaining to him, and I love when Rocky's lines. You know, he says, "Down, you know, this kind of hard. You know, he's such a jealous. Honestly, you're just not jealous. You're not but a jealous, lazy bum, and Polly gets pissed and starts punching him, I'm gonna break your mouth, Kind of reminds me of my dad. Polly kind of reminds me of my dad. I'm gonna break her mouth, And he asks, gonna give me a job, and Rocky says, all you have to do is ask. But yeah, Rocky was great. I mean, it was fantastic. So Rocky's now actually going in the ring to get involved in the fight, in the charity fight with the wrestler Thunderlips, played by Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan goes, and almost break his neck, break his back, and it was actually a really great exhibition match for the charity, which I love that. But a new boxer, actually a new opponent, he's now number one on the ranking, and he's number one contender for the title, and that's Clubber Lang, played by Mr. T. Clubber Lang doesn't get the shot because Rocky's manager and best friend, Mickey, he goes and he protects Rocky by not telling him about number one contender, and that's Mr. T, so Rocky, when they actually built a statue, I think it was a real statue, on the parade with Rocky, which he says that he thinks that it's time to retire. I don't know why the fuck would he retire. It's I don't know why Stallone wrote that, but I think that Rocky should not retire, and everyone said. And I love when Adrian said that she's so hot, babe, and she looks with the crowd, angry crowd, who said, no, don't retire. And Mr. T shows up and says, get it out of here, kid. Don't get no sucker, no statue, get the guts. I told you it was going away. And I love when Mickey says, why don't you get out of here? Shut up, old man. Why don't you tell us folks out here why that could be? Politics, man. This guy wants to keep me down. To be a puppet like him, a fool out there. You have a good mouth, you have a big mouth. Why don't you come here and close it, boy? Come on here, Rocky goes, anytime. And Mickey says, don't listen to him, he's crazy. I don't remember then the lines, what already Mr. T said. He said, but boy, your family doing nice. Why don't you give me the same chance? The way, the already ducked me is disgrace. And I love when Mickey says, you're disgrace to the sport. You're not. Shut up, old man. Where I'm coming from. But boy, your parents doing nice. You're quite champion, and a fighter. Prove it now. Get the same chance. The ducking is disgrace already. But this man keeps fighting other bums, his matches other bums, your fight is a sentence, what, and I love when Mr. Mickey says you're the disgrace to the sport, you're not gonna get a chance, and I mean that, and I love when Rocky says, what are you doing? I want this guy. Then you haven't did get out of me. What are you saying? I'm finished. Yeah, I don't want no more. You hear me? No more. And I want and I love when Mr. T says, hey woman, listen here, since your man has no heart, why don't you bring your pretty little cell in my apartment? I'll show you the real man. And that time, Rocky gets pissed, And like I said, when mom of Mr. T, she actually saw that those remarks to the lady, and she told him, I didn't raise you to talk to the lady like that, and she stormed out of that cinema, out of the movie theater at that time. But it doesn't matter. Mr. T did great job. I mean, he was awesome. He was later, after this movie was released, he got the job to be in A-Team, B.A. Baracus. He was in the A-Team, and he was still awesome. And I love Mr. T. He was great. He was great as Clubber Lang, from Chicago, and I love, he was actually great, from Chicago. He was awesome, Mr. T. So Rocky accepts the challenge for the title, and he goes to Mickey and he asks him, why you going, and Mickey says, I'm going on permanent vacation, and you can do it. You still have a job to do. You still have a fight. Not we, you. Let's say I'm finished. And he tells him, this guy is a wrecking machine, and he's hungry, and he wasn't hungry since he won the bell. And he says, what are you talking about? I had the title for 10 times. Yeah, that was easy. What do you mean easy? Easy? They're handpicked. Setups, no, they're good fighters, but they weren't crazy like this guy. This guy's a wrecking machine. He's gonna knock you tomorrow, Rock. And I love when Rocky says, I still have one fight. I still need just one fight and we leave. And if you don't, I'll tell everyone that you did not buy your underwear for 10 years. You will do that. Yeah, I love that, And that's the reason why I love this movie, is because Rocky and Mickey are actually a great team. They're a great team, They're a great team, Those two are a great team. And so Rocky prepares, but he doesn't train hard. He has a parade training, like Mickey says, let's go to the old gym, let's get that sweat, that blood pumping, And I just love that, And meantime, Mr. T, Clubber Lang trains very hard, he trains very hard. But I love the music, with the piano. I love the music by the piano. I mean, Bill Conti was fantastic as music score. When Rocky goes, and doesn't even sweat, he's awesome. Rocky's awesome. Stallone is awesome in this movie. He's great. He's fantastic in this movie. I just love this movie to death, man. Such a cool, epic movie, in my opinion. And when Rocky then he goes to the ring and during toe-to-toe change, Clubber Lang goes and pushes Mickey, because of his heart, he can't be in the ring, so Rocky goes with Paulie in the ring. And meantime, Apollo Creed returns. I was surprised that Apollo Creed returned, but I was surprised Apollo Creed returned, and he tried to shake hands with Clubber. Clubber pushes him around. And he says, get out, man. I don't want a husband giving something I don't, that doesn't have, And he keeps provoking Apollo. Apollo goes back to Rocky and wishing good luck. Do us a favor and knock this chump down, And during the 2 rounds, Rocky loses the fight because he gets bloody. This is the first time he gets KO. He gets all bloody and he just lost the edge. Like Apollo says, he lost the edge. He lost the edge and lost the fight for the wrong reasons. And because his manager was dying, was hurting, and Rocky came back, with a black eye and his close eye, and finds out that his manager best friend dies, he cries, and I think that the fans are surprised that Mickey was Jewish, but it was a nice funeral, and Rocky is now, he lost everything, rise from the graves, he's on top of the world, but loses the fight, wrong reasons, he lost the title, he lost the edge, and Rocky is now completely down, he's completely down, he's not anymore, he don't know what to do anymore, and that time Apollo Creed shows up, and I just love his lines, why don't you, that's the right to hit, why don't you just stab it, punch it right, and who is this, Apollo? Why do your business? And he tells him, listen, it's quiet, I waited for an hour there, your wife told me you're here, so listen, Rocky, you lost, you get back, now when we fought, look, man, when you beat me, I didn't want to hear from anyone, not even from kids, but every fighter knows that that it hurts, hurting inside, and I know your manager died, messed you up, I know that, but now when we fought, you had the eye of the tiger, man, the edge, and now you gotta get it back, and the way to get it back is to go back to the beginning. You lost the fight for wrong reasons, and I love it. Make it right for yourself, or you'll be sorry you didn't. I love those lines, more inspiring. Make it right for yourself, you did it, or you'll be sorry you didn't. He made a mistake, he lost the fight for wrong reasons. It's not over. And a lot of people will actually owe him apology because it's not over. It's not over till it's over. And Rocky, I forgot to mention, there's like when he was in the ring with the Thunderlips, he says, everyone wants to punch me, I'm a punchy, That was later the name in Rocky Balboa for the dog, But Rocky is not over, it's not over. It's not over till it's over. What's that? For the Hades Morasantes, By the way, that's the line from Rocky Balboa, but I just love that, And I just love when he said, make it right for yourself, or if you're sorry, didn't, You get it back. I'm the Tiger Man, the edge. And the way you go back, you gotta get it back, The way to get it back is to go back to the beginning. And now from Philadelphia, Rocky, he goes to California and Los Angeles, in which they actually sign into a club, into a boxing club, in which Apollo says someone has to teach you different. And this time, Duke Everest, Tony Burton, rest in peace, returns, from the first two movies, and they go now into the fight, and Apollo starts training him. And at first, Rocky starts his doubts about him. He thinks he can't make it because he got such a bad beatings from Clubber Lang. He starts doubt himself, And I love the lines, we do it. What the matter is with you? He keeps punching him and he loses. What's the matter with you? Tomorrow. We do it tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. And Rocky's like in the mirror, he makes himself and he keeps hearing the shouting lines from Apollo. There is no tomorrow. And I just love that, There is no tomorrow. I love that. And Rocky, he goes, Rocky starts down there. There's actually a jog in which Apollo and Rocky starts competing, but Apollo wins. And it's like, what is the matter with you? And Apollo says it's over, And this is what I love about the character Adrian. Adrian shows up, and she's supportive. Like in the second movie, she was. In this movie, she's supportive. She cheers him up. She supports him, You lost, you didn't push me into that, You had to do it this for yourself. And I just love the lines. Another inspirational lines. You had to do it for yourself. No fear. No that you're weak. No fear. No everything, But why Mickey gonna tell me? Well, it was his job to protecting you, So now you gotta do this for yourself. No fear. And if you lose, then you lose. But you lose without any fear, And I just love how she motivated, how she goes and motivates Rocky, And then Rocky starts really training. And I love the training sequence. Rocky starts really training and until the final beat, Rocky and Apollo starts really training. It's very hard, And when the fight starts the beginning, Rocky wears the collars, the American flag collars. Those are the collars that Apollo was wearing their first fight. And Rocky now goes in the Eye of the Tiger to the ring, toe-to-toe with Clubber Lang, and beats, and once again he fights for the title and he wins the title back. He defeats Clubber Lang and he's still the champion of the world. And this is of all the three Rocky movies, this is actually the only Rocky movie that the fight lasts only the fight lasts only 3 rounds, not 12 rounds, only 3 rounds, But like I said, Mr. T, best performance, great performance. Mr. T is great. He's the most dangerous opponent so far. He's great. I mean, this movie to me is fantastic, sensational. It's great, Now my retrospective review. By the way, Rocky and Apollo, they now go. Because Apollo says you owe me a favor, and Rocky was like, what favor? And they actually go now in the ring, to continue with the second fight. And that they go to toe-to-toe to fight each other, and it was simulated who actually won the fight, But thanks a lot, Creed 2004, to reveal Apollo won. They should never reveal who won, because it was so spectacular, because don't know who hit each other, because they're both tight, And I think I think this movie should just ended. There is no need for more 4 movies. I love Rocky 4, but I think this movie just ended. Because Apollo Creed and Rocky were still great. But I love that Rocky 4 was made, but that time, Stallone wanted to have the trilogy, so this is the 3rd movie, and he completed the trilogy. So my retrospective way. So let's talk about Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone was actually in his best shape, just like he was for Rambo. He only ate 10 eggs whites and a piece of toast a day, having fruit every 3rd day. He was training a lot. And he also he had his body fat, very remarkably low, 2.8% during the shooting, but then he was get low to 2.6% and weighed 155 pounds. He was very hard and he was in best shape of his life. I love his body. His body percent was great. I mean, he was really great. I mean, his body, he was even more body in the than the first 2 movies. His body percent was great, was phenomenal. His body, he was best in his best shape of his life. He trained really hard. Like I said, he had a strict diet. His body percent was low, 2.8. He weighed 155 lbs, which he was not. He was very thin. He wasn't fat. He was very thin. He was very athletic. He was like a real fighter and very athletic. Mr. T did a fantastic job. I love that Apollo Creed, returns to me. Best performance in retrospective way. Sylvester Stallone's performance was excellent, was phenomenal. His best performance as Rocky Balboa, because he trained, he was very hard, and everything is in this movie was done for real. Even the fights are done for real. I wish there would be more talk about how Mr. T and Sylvester Stallone did do a sparring fight and like choreography by Stallone. By the way, Apollo Creed, Carl Weathers, who plays Apollo Creed, and Mr. T did not get along. They really hated each other. They really did shout at each other. And I also love when, they actually really did hated each other. Now the training sequences, this movie is different than the first 2 movies. It actually more focused on boxing than the story. And also, it has kind of different training elements, because in Rocky 2, he was chasing the chicken. In Rocky 1, he was more jogging than and he did more push-ups and he was more jogging, because in Rocky 2, he was chasing the chicken. In this movie, he was swimming. He actually had a different training. He was swimming in this movie. Like I said, Apollo said he's using muscles that he doesn't know. He was swimming. He was using the punching bag. And he was also, Apollo was teaching him completely different style than Mickey did, completely different, to move more, than get hits, because in the first 2 movies he get blows, he had more blows. In this movie, he was actually more hitting, he was more stick and move, just like Apollo said, stick and move. He was like, he was stick and move. He was like moving all the time, and so that he didn't get that much hit, This was just like in Kickboxer with Van Damme, he was trying to block the punch and to move, which it worked well. The train sequences were also in the beach, I love the beach scenes, like you can see people swimming behind the back. Probably didn't know they're actually filming in it, but yeah, the actually was training was on the beach. And of course the jogging between Carl Weathers and Sylvester Stallone, which Stallone beats him. So the training sequences, in my opinion, montage are great. He also grabs, I love the funny scene when he grabs Paul and throws in the pool. I was laughing. But yeah, it kind of had a different, so that's one of the reasons. Rocky has 10 fights. He has more fights, he flies around the world, fights. He also shows up in the Muppet Show. That was done for real. It was actually real footage. Sylvester Stallone was really in Muppet Show. He he really was in Muppet Show. So that was done for real. Love the training logo, for Rocky, and the montage from Rocky 2, the fight, and then the intro for Rocky, which we see him fight more than one fighter, which I enjoyed that, love that in the fight in the Rocky. The first Rocky fight between Clubber Lang is really brutal. Like Clubber Lang punches him out, like he's all bloody, and the second round he knocks him down. We see all the bloody, like from the face. Rocky's all bloody, and Clubber goes and knocks him down. This is the first time we see Rocky being knocked down. But the fact of Retrospective way, I love that it was done different. It did not copy the first two movies, and I love that Rocky has a different fighter, a different opponent than just one Apollo Creed. In this movie, he has Mr. T as Clubber Lang. What's another Retrospective way, in my opinion, is that that I love that Apollo Creed returns. He's more humanizing, from a sore loser to a great hero. He's a great hero. He comes to helping Rocky because he lost his manager, and he goes and he helps, and they became a team. He helps him out because he know that he has to do this. He has to help him out, and I love that. He goes and trains him differently. Now the fight, which I have to talk more about, the final fight, the climatic fight, it lasted 3 rounds, and like I said, it lasted 3 rounds, and Rocky goes, and he goes and sticks and move, and this is the first time he's prevent that he gets so much blows and hits, in which he keeps continuing blowing, hitting. Goes and blowing, hitting Rocky, goes and blowing, hitting Clubber, and Clubber misses a few times, and I love that he goes and pisses him, that go and piss off, Clubber. I love that. Another thing is in the ring, when he goes and shows up, like Clubber shows up, and Rocky, and he keeps. And I love when Clubber goes and keeps provoking. I love when Clubber goes and keeps provoking Apollo, Rocky, and says, "Hey fool, are you ready for another billion? You should never come back. Hey boy, when I crucify you, you're next." Just away from me, chump, and don't you turn on my back, and pushes him, I just love that, I just love Apollo. I think that I love Rocky, Apollo, and Clubber Lang. Those three, I love all of them. Those three, I love all of them. All three are great. They're great. They're fantastic. All three of them are great. I think that they really pull it off. They're great. They're awesome. It was really great, fantastic watching this film. So now, like I said, the first round, Rocky wins the first round in my opinion because he doesn't get hit. He keeps moves, he keeps stick and move, like Apollo says. He says, "Go on, just stick and move, and we go." I just love Apollo's motivation, his motivation speech. And so they go, yeah, I love, so now the second round, when second round shows up, and I love when the Clubber says, "I'll kill you, man," and Rocky says, "The man's strong," and also when Rocky spits in the bucket, he also hits Paulie. That was accident, wasn't meant to spit him. But I love the reaction to Paulie. But anyway, Rocky, he goes, the second round. And the second round is actually in which he loses control and he gets real blows. And I just love it when Clubber grabs him, and you can hear loud shouting behind, in the back. But he grabs him and throws in the corner and he knocks him down. And that's one of the reasons that I actually think, I know they're going to say, "Oh, it's not realistic." To me, it is realistic. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. That's my opinion. It's realistic. He knocks him down. He knocks him for real down. He goes and knocks him for real down. And I love when Apollo says, "Man, get up," Like the first fight, he also says, "Get up." And he goes, "Get up," and he keeps punching him. And that time, Rocky realized now to use a strategy and starts provoking Clubber. That's actually his weak point, by provoking him, and I love when Apollo gets mad and says, "What the hell, dude? What the hell, dude? Look, that's strategy. I know what to do. No, you don't know what you're doing, if you stand toe to toe with this bomb, he'll kill you. It doesn't make a man to stand there and get your head beat off. He's just a man, Rock. So be more a man than him. Go get him. I'm a tiger, man. I'm a tiger. Go get him. You know, in the third round, you know, when you know, the turn down when the manager and the trainer of Kleber says, "What are you doing?" He's on us, you know, and when Kleber says, "This one round," in the third round they go start fighting each other, you know, and he keeps provoking him, and I love that scene when Kleber goes punches in the ribs, you know, and Rocky he's blocking his face, you know, and he hits him right in the arms, and he goes, you know, another blow, you know, and that's just, I love the slow motion, just like it's Rocky 2. I love the slow motion, love the final climatic fight. Rocky fights, you know, bang. I love when Rocky blocks, you know. Then he keeps provoking him. In that time, Kleber loses his control. He loses, you know, he goes and loses his control, and he keeps missing. And that time, Rocky got him, you know, he keeps spinning, he keeps punching him. He uses all the blows, swings, blows. And that time, he goes to the left hook, and he goes, and he also knocks him down. And that time, Rocky wins the fight, you know. I forgot to mention, in the first movie, Rocky was a southpaw. In this movie, Clubber Lang is a southpaw. He's also been mentioned. He is a southpaw. I love the final scene when Rocky and Apollo goes and punches, and the music song starts with the end credits with I the tiger, you know, that's should be the tagline. I the tiger, but why it was not I the tiger? But I love when Apollo Creed goes, you know, becomes a hero. He becomes a great great ally to Rocky, a great hero, and starts showing him, you know, he goes and starts teaching him. I love Carl Weathers. This is actually said it's actually his favorite movie. I love Carl Weathers. Then work with Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator, the first one. Carl Weathers was fantastic. He also did his own action film, Action Jackson. Was not a fan of that movie. I don't know. Was just not that fan of that movie. He did, I think, another film, but I did not watch it. But also he did his own show, Street Justice, which lasted for only 2 seasons, but I guess they had to, that Canadian series, they actually had to cancel it, maybe because it was low percent of viewers. But Carl Weathers, Sylvester Stallone, and Mr. T did a great job. There was, back in 2004, there was also a video game, which there were, I think there were characters, like Clubber Lang was one of them. And I remember an interview when Mr. T said that he gladly went on the floor, that he was knocked down because at the time he needed the money. But he said, if I will see now Rocky Balboa, then I will punch his face, you know. But he said that he he gladly went down, you know, on the floor because he needed the money that time. But Mr. T did a great job as Clubber Lang. And the fight scenes are great. There are more, Rocky fights more than one fighter. The training sequences are great. The music score by Bill Conti, the training sequence is great. I just love this movie to death. It's fast paced. It's not 2 hours long. It goes quickly around. I love the actor who plays Rocky's son. And I love everything, you know. I love when Clubber Lang goes and does not show respect and does provoking Rocky, you know. Getting out that he can. Don't give us a second mustache. You give him guts. I told you to go away. Why don't you get hair? Shut up, old man. I go nowhere. Why don't you tell those nice folks out here why you're attacking me? Politics, man. This guy tries to keep me down because they don't want to give me a chance to hear a title like a puppet fool out there. You know, here, big mouth. Why don't you get close the ball? Come on, anytime, you know. Truth. I'm rank number 1. That means I'm the best. But this bomb fights these matches the way out, fights other bombs, you know. He decides the setups. What? You disgrace the sport, Shadow Man. You this will know where it come from. Balboa, your family's doing nice, and now give me the same chance, you call yourself fighter, put it now, give me the same chance. You already ducking his race, and he goes like, hey woman, since your man has no hair, I'll give yourself pretty yourself in my apartment. I show the real man. That time Rocky gets pissed. I just love that scenes, or when make you drive for yourself, or you'll be sorry you didn't, He had the greatest title of the world, babe. Now you get it back, You lost this fight for the wrong reasons, Rock. You lost your edge. But now when we fought, you had the Tiger, man. The edge. And now you get it back. And the way to go back is to go back to the beginning. Tiger, man, get it back. I just love that, You lost the make it right for yourself, you'll be sorry, didn't. More inspirational to me. But yeah, Rocky 3, definitely, I would say definitely one of the best sequels. I think this movie is a bit underrated in my opinion, because I don't see anyone say this is my favorite Rocky. But I'll say it's my second favorite Rocky, but still love Rocky 3 to death. I was tied up, and torn between Rocky 3 and 4, because I couldn't figure out which is actually my favorite. But Rocky 4 is my favorite, which I'll do a retrospective review tomorrow for Rocky 4 and explain why it's my favorite. But I love Rocky 3. It's such a joy watching Rocky 3. I mean, Sylvester Stallone was so great that time, best shape of his life. He was great. He pumped iron. He was in great shape, better in the first two movies. He only ate 10 eggs with whites and a piece of toast a day, having fruit every third day. He trained, he also trained. He was fantastic. Anyway, that's my retrospective movie review on Rocky 3, and I'll see you tomorrow for the fourth movie, which I'll do the review on the fourth one. Anyway, have a good Sunday, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next review. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, thanks for subscribing. Take care, I'm out, peace.